Hi, hello everybody, say hello. I'm going to do a very quick video on just one question today that so many people have been asking me. Do I put weeds in my containers and where I container garden? And the question basically is should I put weeds in? Pretty much everything that I grow does go back in my either containers that I'm setting up or goes into the containers where I'm composting in place. Sometimes I compost in place right in the container. I'll dig a hole and push it in. Or you've seen this, I will compost in there and put food matter, leaves, whatever I've got from my garden or around the yard. So do I put weeds in my compost in place containers and do I compost it? I do, yes. Here's one. Here's sow thistle. I absolutely throw that in. What I don't put in, there's really only 2 weeds I do not put in there. Let's say 3, I don't grow it. The one I don't grow is St. Augustine. That's a runner type grass. I would not put that in. We have run into Bermuda grass. That shows up once in a while. I do not put that in. It's got runners. Even if it ends up on the bottom of the tub, they'll come out of the holes on the bottom, and they can be a nightmare to get rid of. So no Bermuda grass. And the other thing would be mint. If I am going to get rid of mint, let's say mint that's here, and let's say I wanted it, I didn't care, I would compost it, but generally I do not compost mint. Why don't I compost mint? Because again, mint will grow even on the bottom of the containers. So mint, if you don't want it, don't compost mint. Otherwise, everything else, yeah, if I find little weeds growing, I really don't see too much because I actually went through them. Brown leaves, I just put it back in. I can make a hole and push it in. Let's see if I've got any weeds over here. I haven't even set these things up yet, but things come up. Your average everyday small weeds, I will compost. There's no threat to them. Sow thistle, other little weeds that come up, all these, yes. I will take something like that and I will actually just push it in if I'm going to compost it in place like that. It's not going to come back. Push it in, it's basically gone. If in doubt, dry it. Put it in a bucket. A lot of times I throw things in a bucket, dry it, and then, make sure it's dead, basically. And if there's seeds to it and you're going to put it on the top, then get rid of the seeds. That would be the main thing. Because it's going to be the seeds that grow. And that's what you may not want. So you kind of have to decide at your garden what you want to put in there. But again, it would be Bermuda. I would say absolutely no Bermuda grass, no St. Augustine, and no mint. Otherwise, everything else is pretty much good to go. Put it in buckets, and you can even rot it. If you put it in water, you can feed the water to your plants as a compost tea, and you can use those. If in doubt, use them on the very bottom when you're first setting up your containers. Put the weeds on the bottom. I have a lot of weeds in all these set up. When I set them up, nothing is coming up that's weeds. The only thing coming up are all these little tomatoes I squeezed in there. So that's about it. Do I put weeds in my garden? Generally, yes. If you are in doubt and if you're not sure, and I don't know all the weeds, so I can't give you a straight answer on that, but if you're not sure, then throw it in the garbage or make a pile and just let it completely dry out and then put it on the very bottom of a new tub. My hands are muddy. That should be good to go, or rot it out. Dry it, rot it out, and then feed it back to the plants and put it on the bottom. And that would be it. And as far as your compost containers, this is the one that's got this small little compost container in there. Sure, nothing's going to grow in there anyways, but like I said, if it's any invasive type of weed, either rot it out or dry it out first and cut it up, chop it up. Everything else, don't worry about it. Sow thistle, dandelion, they're non-invasive. Actually, you can eat those, and we do. So you decide what you don't want to deal with. You got something that's coming up everywhere and you can't stop it, especially plants that are runners. Those are the worst. Anything that has a runner to it. those you absolutely do not want to put in. And that's why I say Bermuda grass, because it's a nightmare to get rid of. So yes, I do use weeds, and the plants enjoy it. Soak it if you want and make a compost tea out of it. That would be really, really good. And then put it in your bins that you are composting and using for your plants. If you're setting up a new bin, you don't really have to worry really too much, because you put that on the very bottom of your new bins. As far as composting weeds in your garden, in the ground, I definitely would say no Bermuda, no St. Augustine, and no mint, because even if you think any of those are dead, they may come back, because they can grow pretty much from the roots, even if you think you've got it and you've chopped it up. I'll be honest with you, when it comes to Bermuda grass, because we had a major problem once we got it into our property just not long ago, and we finally got rid of it. Gary actually pulls that out, and he does trash it. We have to pay for trash, so let them take that away for us. So that's it. I hope I answered your question. If it doesn't answer it, ask me again. I don't know all the weeds that are around, so I can't say 100% on everything, but if you are in doubt, throw it away. The other thing you can do on certain weeds, if you're in doubt, you can compost the leaves, and if you're pulling it out by the roots, then throw the roots in the trash, because it's generally the roots except for mint. Even St. Augustine, well, that can grow too. Like I said, I wouldn't compost those no matter what. But anything else, like sow thistle or lettuce, the way it grows, you could compost the plant itself, because they're not runners, and then you could throw the roots away if you're taking the roots out. So, like I said, if in doubt, throw it out. That's a good way. If in doubt, throw it out. Otherwise, pretty much, yes, I do compost a lot of weeds. We've been doing weed abatement, and Gary's been doing a lot of, as you can see down there, chop and drop, and then he covers it with wood chips. And those are from seeds that are flying in the air, and so those weeds will grow that way. And we don't worry about weeds, because your average weeds, they're not going to take off like that and grow. So I hope I answered your question. And the reason I did this is, like I said, there's been so many of the same question. So that's it. So with that, have a wonderful day. I want to thank you. And I know I cannot get to all the questions. I'm trying to figure it out. I went on today and it said I had like 300 questions and comments, and it's just the two of us. So we'll see what happens, how I'm going to do this, but I'm doing the best I can. I love you all, and I'm trying to get to as many as I can. So don't feel that I've ignored you, because I haven't. I try to start from the bottom and work my way up on a lot of different videos. Have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye, everybody.